Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are just here to see the 5 best Netflix anime, please feel free to skip ahead. So if you're still here, thanks for sticking around and not skipping. As I am a new channel, I'd appreciate any support I can get from you all by subscribing. Yes, it says dubscribe. I like puns. First of all, my channel will only include anime that is dubbed from Japanese to English. I'll do reviews and top 5 style videos. So you're probably wondering, why dubbed? In my opinion, dubbed anime is just easier to watch. You can spend more time focused on the artwork, the story, the characters, and the small details that make anime so amazing. And last but not least, what would you guys like from me? Please feel free to leave comments with suggestions, requests, even critiques. Now for those of you who have stuck with me this far, I'd like to say thank you, and without further ado, I hope you enjoy this top 5 Netflix anime review list. I know that the title says top 5 anime, but this next show is produced in America, so it's more of an American cartoon. I just enjoyed this show too much not to put it in the list for all of you to enjoy as well. So we'll call this one number 6, a sort of honourable mention. Castlevania is a series exploring the age-old tale of Dracula, but this is in no way another origin story. This is a tale of heartache, betrayal, and revenge. After watching his wife burnt alive for using medical science to cure people of their ailments, Dracula was driven into a rage, swearing to kill all humans with hordes of demons. This tale not only follows Dracula's story, but the journey of a trio who set out to stop him. An unlikely trio who hunt demons, slay vampires, and fight back the onslaught of Dracula's revenge. With demons, magic, brutal fight scenes, and the occasional piece of crass humour, this show gives a new lease of life on the age-old story surrounding the Prince of Darkness. I give this show a 3 out of 5 for bingeability, as there's not too many episodes and they're not overly long. A 4 out of 5 for filler episodes, as there's almost none to speak of. A 4.5 out of 5 for character building, as you get to learn each character on an individual basis. A 3.5 out of 5 for story progression, as the story progresses fast, but it could be drawn out a little bit longer. A 3 out of 5 for originality, as it's a story that's been told a million times, but they've still made it feel fresh. And a 3.5 out of 5 for the design. It's clean, it's detailed, and has great use of colours for the magic. In this show, our main character sets out from his village to join the army in order to save his people. Upon arriving at the royal capital, he soon realises that the world is corrupt and broken. Instead of becoming a part of a corrupt system, our main character joins a group of assassins called Night Raid, a group whose sole objective is to rid the world of corruption and free the people from tyranny. In this world, there are beasts which wield immense power. Night Raid use special weapons imbued with these powers, giving the wielder unique abilities to use against their foes. If you're a fan of detailed, bloody battles where fighters use unique mythical weapons to slaughter one another, you'll definitely love this show. The thing that makes this anime so enjoyable is the attention to each character's backstories and emotions, and how the show refuses to conform to the bad guys always lose stereotype. This anime gets a 3.5 out of 5 for bingeability, as it can be slow at times, a 4 out of 5 for filler episodes, as there's very few fillers and most are relevant, a 4.5 out of 5 for character building, as each member, good or bad, has their story told, a 2.5 out of 5 for story progression, as the story starts off slow and drags at times, a 3.5 out of 5 for originality, as it's not overly unique but is executed extremely well, a 3.5 out of 5 for design, as there's a great capture of emotion and attention to details. Food Wars is a show about food. This show is about a school where the world's best culinary experts are cultivated and pitted against one another. Students battle one another in a series of grueling challenges, like group and one-on-one battles, to decide who the world's best budding chefs are. We follow the journey of a young boy who goes from working in a very small eatery to taking on challenge after challenge. Students at this school take part in one-on-one battles to decide all things. These are known as Food Wars. The reason this anime makes this list is due to the clever way in which the food is brought to life, displaying taste and smell in a unique way to make the viewer get a real sense for the food. But most of all, the way the show cranks even the mundane up to the max is what makes it so fun to watch. The show scores 3.5 out of 5 for bingeability. The show is fun to watch, but has some odd moments. 3 out of 5 for filler episodes. There are a few fillers, but most of them stick to the main story. 4 out of 5 for character building. We watch the characters grow, bond, and learn all about them during the story. 3 out of 5 for story progression. The story is quite slow, but it's very easy to follow. 4 out of 5 for originality. The execution, premise, and style are fresh and fun. And 4 out of 5 for the design. It's unique, creative, and different in a good way. One Punch Man follows the story of a man who is a hero for fun and his journey to becoming a true hero. He battles against demons, aliens, monsters, and people to help rid the world of evil. The only problem being, he is so strong that all of his fights end after just one punch, never allowing him to truly feel the excitement of true battle. Along his travels, our main character manages to make new friends and even pick up a disciple who is convinced there is some special training needed to attain his master's level of power. This anime has no real direction or plot. It's purely a show about how boring being overpowered would really be, never being able to find your limits and break through them, or enjoy the heat of battle. This adds a real comical twist to our story, as unlike most anime, our main character has no real drive to fight. But still, he manages to find himself pitted against new and ever more powerful foes who wish to defeat him. This show scored 4.5 out of 5 for bingeability, as it's easy to sit and watch the entire season in one sitting. 5 out of 5 for filler episodes. There aren't really any fillers, the whole show itself is one big filler episode. 2.5 out of 5 for character building. There is very little, if any, character building in this show. A 2 out of 5 for story progression. There is very little story, it's mainly just comical fun. A 4.5 out of 5 for originality, as there's very little, if anything, similar to this anime. And 4 out of 5 for design. The way the animation is designed, set up, and drawn is phenomenal. This anime follows a man who is trying to prove that he is the strongest fighter alive. He travels around Japan picking fights with anyone and everyone. This lands him as a competitor and representative in an underground death tournament where companies battle one another from all over the world. CEOs, businessmen and women, use fighters to decide who will win the grand prize, a prize which gives the winner immense power and wealth. This anime is made interesting because it toes the line between realism and fantasy by using real fighting styles without relying on special powers to set the show apart. That being said, there are some fighters with interesting abilities which make the fight scenes much more interesting. What truly sets this anime apart from others on this list is the use of a narrator. Elements of the story are broken down and explained to us by this omnipotent, overhanging voice. A voice that gives depth to the fights, allowing us to understand and appreciate the show in greater depth. This anime scores 4 out of 5 for bingeability. The pace of the show makes it easy to watch episode after episode. 4 out of 5 for filler episodes. The show starts off slow, but picks up, and there are very few fillers in between. 2.5 out of 5 for character building, as we do get to know a little about the characters, but not much. 2.5 out of 5 for story progression, not a lot happens outside of the combat scenes. A 3.5 out of 5 for originality, as there are elements which make this show original, but down to its core it is a fighting anime. And 4 out of 5 for design. The fight scenes are fun, well designed, and detailed down to the finest points. And sitting at number 1, above all the shows thus far, is The Seven Deadly Sins. This anime follows the journey of a princess who sets out to gather the members of a group of extremely talented exiled knights, whose legendary powers she needs in order to save her kingdom from the oncoming holy war against the Demon Clan. Wielding magic weapons, the Seven Deadly Sins is a group of individuals from every race, each possessing a different sin which binds them to the group. If you're a fan of fantasy-based anime, you will love this one, as this anime has demons, fairies, giants, magicians, and more. What makes this anime number 1 is the way the story slowly unfolds without ever becoming boring. We get to see exciting battles and watch the tale unfold as we draw ever closer to the true story behind the war against the Demon Clan. With multiple seasons and episodes, this anime is great for those of you who really want to sink their teeth into an all-round great show. This show scores 4 out of 5 for bingeability. With almost 80 episodes, it's easy to sit and binge this show. 4 out of 5 for filler episodes. Each filler gives insight and meaning to the story and characters. 4.5 out of 5 for character building. This whole story is one tale about the 7 deadly sins as we learn about their past in great detail. 4 out of 5 for story progression. The story progresses at a good pace considering there are so many episodes. 4.5 out of 5 for originality. The way the story is told with its characters is one of a kind. And 4 out of 5 for design. As the show progresses, it gets more and more visually stunning. And that's our video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.